What's going on, everyone? My name is Cody here with Exertion Sports.
And my name's Myles.
And today we're going to be talking about college football.
Yes. So, let's get into the swing of things. A lot of, I can't say there's actually a lot of contenders. I can't lie.
There's about
three max. And we're going to go over like the top 25. We'll start kind of at the bottom and work our way up. So we'll go 5 at a time. So the first 5 in going from 25 to 21. So, counting down. So 25.
And whose list is this?
This is the AP Top 25. So this is like, if you ever see their team, this is the NCAA football. This is, if you ever see, this is on ESPN, by the way, so you can fact check me, which, I mean, this is not going to be a big, this will change, but I'm rambling. This is the AP, so if you see a team that says like blah 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 and there's a number beside it, this is the list they refer to. This is not the coaches poll. I don't go by the coaches poll, but anyway, AP.
So we're just gonna start from the bottom.
Yep.
Now we're here.
Yeah, now we're here. You don't know how hard it was to get to the point where we're at right this very second.
It took a while.
Yeah. So, Bandito Chinchilla for the shout out there. So number 25, we got Stanford. Okay, and Stanford's not bad. They're never really that bad. The thing is, it's a really smart school and they have great athletic programs. So
They got the good stuff.
they do have the good.
They're
stuff.
that good run of the mill school.
And then we have Nebraska. Nebraska's number 24. Then we have Washington State coming in at 23. Why did my phone do that? Okay. 22 is Syracuse. And 21, let me make sure. Iowa State. Yep. So we've got Stanford, Nebraska, Washington State, Syracuse, and Iowa State University. So that's your 25 to 21. Of that group, it's not really a lot of sleeper picks in that group. There's not like any big name teams. Like, there's, I don't know, like none of them are threatening. The only one there that really I think could do something maybe is Stanford.
Yeah, I agree with you.
They're okay. Of course, that's not really gonna be anybody that's gonna, like, you see them, you're like, oh, okay, that's gonna be a tough game, but you're not like, oh crap, they might win it all.
I mean, you never know. Like, what was it? Was it Butler that year that surprised everybody?
That was in basketball, though.
I know it was in basketball. I'm just saying.
Yeah, old Butler came out of nowhere. They went to the James. I don't know if they won. They might have.
I'm pretty sure they won.
Okay, yeah, so they did.
I'm just saying, in
Basketball's
general,
a different
yeah,
horse.
in general in sports though, you can get a surprise, but I really feel like if anyone's gonna make any noise, it'll be Stanford.
Of that group, yeah.
Yeah.
So then moving on to our next 5 from the 20th to the 16th. 20th place, we got the Iowa. I think it's a Hawkeye. Yes, Iowa Hawkeyes coming in 20th. 19th, Wisconsin Badgers. 18th, Michigan State University Spartans. 17 is the University of Central Florida Knights. And 16, rounding out that 5, is the Auburn Tigers. So this is where we're getting a little more serious teams. Iowa is like always a pretty solid team, but they somehow seem to choke constantly. They're never good enough. It's a good program. They have a good football program, but unfortunately they're not that caliber to break top 10. Now I could see Wisconsin make the top 10. Michigan State, University of Central Florida always has a really good year. But unfortunately, due to strength of schedule, they sometimes kind of get put out in regards to actually make it into the tougher, like the championship series and stuff like that. And then you have Auburn. Auburn has such large potential.
I agree.
Being in the SEC, you will face Alabama. And if you can go undefeated and beat Alabama, then you're going to be in the championship bracket playoffs. You're definitely going to be in that. You don't even have to beat Alabama. You also get a lot more leniency if you're in the SEC just because Alabama's there and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just because your strength of schedule is so hard because you have to face so many tough teams. But also, they're playing on opening day against Oregon, which is going to be a tough.
Who do you think is going to win that game?
Which actually it's not opening day. It's not this Saturday, but the week after. So that would be. I can't remember. Let me look to make sure. But who I
Saturday's the 24th, so it should be the 30th.
It's the 31st.
31st.
Yeah. So the 31st is that game. It's going to be Auburn, Oregon. This is a rematch of the 2011 BCS National Championship game. I'm going to go. I think that Auburn. I think Auburn won this. Oregon's in a easier conference. I think that Auburn is better because the SEC. I think Auburn's actually got a chance this year of threatening. I think Auburn will win this game.
I agree. I know I agree a lot, but we seem to be on the same wavelength when it comes to college.
Yeah. And you said you don't have a team, correct? You don't have
Not anymore.
No,
I had a team I liked because of a celebrity that played there, but these days I don't really have a favorite, so to speak. So that'll be good for this season. I can pick a favorite.
Yeah, my favorite is sitting outside of the top 25. I'll pull for NC State, by the way. North Carolina State University. And I'll pull for Appalachian State, hence the Michigan. This is where
I do support App because they're so local and everything. But
yeah.
I prefer. I don't know if I could root for State.
You don't think you would pull for State? I love State, man. If you're a Carolina fan of basketball though, so no, that ain't happening. But in that one, though, Michigan State's pretty solid. We talked about them. But yeah, that's a pretty solid group. But
yeah.
On to the next 5.
Yep.
All right. So 15th, we have Penn State University. The Nittany. Let me look at it. I can't remember. I don't want to say something bad. Yeah, the Nittany Lions. Okay, I thought so. Yeah, the Nittany Lions. I wanted to make sure I got that one. I couldn't remember, but it's borderline, But they are at 15th. Utah coming in not too far behind. The Utah Utes. Very creative name.
Good job, guys.
Very creative. And that's the Utes are at 14th. 13th, you got Washington Huskies. That's what I thought. Washington Huskies coming in at 13th. 12th, you have the Texas A&M Aggies. And the 11th, you have the Oregon Ducks. Of course, we just mentioned that. 11 versus 16. First game of the year for both teams. That's a very tough matchup. If you're going to have to face somebody not necessarily in just the top 25, but the top 16. 2 teams in the top 16 in the United States in college football are facing off each other week 1. That could be such a huge thing to see a team climb up in the rankings or not necessarily low. If you lose that game, it's not going to look that bad against you, honestly, because, both teams.
That's a tough game.
Yeah. So, I don't think either team will drop out of the top 25, regardless of who wins. But there's a lot of potential to move up higher.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's going to be great. So, the next 5, we ready? Getting into the top 10 here. These are the teams that could actually do stuff. Sort of. I'll get to that in a moment. Number 10 is Texas Longhorns. I think they're solid.
Speaks for itself, really.
Yeah, restaurants are really good.
Yeah.
Longhorn Steakhouse, but they're pretty good. Notre Dame, they are a pretty solid program. They always have been. Fighting Irish, gotta love them. I don't think they're in a conference. Yeah, I think they're an independent. They are a solid team. They always are good in football, but it just seems like they always come up just a tad bit short.
Yeah.
Just they lose one game that they shouldn't, and then they'll lose a game that could potentially get them into the college football.
And almost like dominoes after that kind of.
Yeah, and just unfortunately it's gonna be rough on them to get there anyway. So, but it's gonna be tough. But coming up in 8th spot, Florida Gators. Okay, the Florida Gators have honestly not been as relevant since Tim Tebow was there.
Yeah,
they've always kind of been there, but they haven't
That's the last time I really remember hearing a lot about them was Tim Tebow.
Yeah, they've not really threatened anything. I mean, they were the noise, and now they're in a tough conference. Granted, Southeastern Conference, SEC, it's a tough conference, but it's just they've not been that team. Alabama's definitely swept for years. Alabama and Auburn have just kind of took off, and Texas A&M did for a little bit, but overall, it's not.
I will say that I'll probably end up picking an ACC team. That's just how I am.
Yeah, well, it's the closest team, so that'll be fair. But moving on to the 7th position, we have Michigan Wolverines. Peep the Appalachian State thing. But no, I remember that day. I was in Boone that day they won. That was a crazy situation.
That's a crazy game.
Yeah. Small place. Huge. Okay, small place, but a lot of people there. I mean, I was gonna say huge people, but like there are a lot of people in Boone. It's not big.
It's very overcrowded, actually. They're having a lot of problems trying to mathematically figure out how everyone can have a parking spot.
Yeah, it's
in
rough.
Boone.
Yeah, I've got a friend and she lives there, and she tells me all the time it's awful. She just walks everywhere.
Yeah, I have friends who are there too, and they usually they go to App State, and and they live like a couple miles off campus just to put up with it.
Yeah, I think she does too. She's got like an apartment or something there, but anyway, yeah, because we've seen it progress from like Division III to now Division I.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, this ain't Appalachian, Michigan.
Yeah.
They're always solid. They got a great coach, John Harbaugh. He's an excellent coach. He's really taken over at Michigan. They've been relevant. They've just came up a little short here and there, but they're definitely a team that everybody looks forward to seeing. A lot of people love the Wolverines. That's a big one. I'll always like watching the Ohio State versus Michigan rivalry. Speaking of Ohio State, they're a couple ahead of that, but before we get to Ohio State, we got LSU at 6. Now this, if there's another team I would put in the SEC that can actually threaten, it's LSU.
Absolutely. That's who I would pick. Number 1.
Yeah, and I like LSU to an extent. The only thing that's kind of a pet peeve for me is their field. They mark it every 5 yards. It was like 35, 30. 25.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
It's kind of like a jumbled mess. With most fields, you can look and see exactly what's going on. For a second, for me, I look at it and then I have to say, wait a minute. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a lot to look at. It's crazy. But yeah, they're coming in number 6. So now we're down to the cream of the crop. Your top 5. If any, we will do a prediction of what we think will make it into the college football playoffs. 4 teams, and then we'll pick who we think will win it all. How's that sound? After we get through the top 5. But coming in at number 5, speaking of the Michigan rivalry, Ohio State University Buckeyes. And if you know the saying, we don't give a blank about the whole state of Michigan. The fight song.
Yeah.
And it's not a word I'm not going to put on here because I don't want to put a dump noise in there. But
that's where our running back comes from, if he remains our running back.
We'll see.
Yeah. Come on, Zeke.
He's gonna play for Cabo because Cabo is gonna get an XFL franchise. That's what's gonna happen there. But moving on to 4th, you have the Oklahoma Sooners. Oklahoma's got a large history of.
You know who that reminds me of?
Get on, Jim Ross.
It's a slobber knocker.
Yeah.
Stone Cold. Stone Cold.
Yeah, he comes out to their fight song.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
And you see like the wagons of the football team as the pictures and stuff like that. But okay, now when I said getting into the cream of the crop, I'm talking about these 3 teams specifically.
These 3 teams are the ones that we too have been saying should be the top anyways.
Yeah, these are definitely the 3 teams that should be at the top. I do think that the 1 and 2 are a little step above the 3rd place.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think the 3rd could get lucky with scheduling and make it the championship, depending on how it all progresses, as well as what the ranks are when it's time for the playoffs. But so number 3, University of Georgia. All right, SEC team as well. It's a very tough team. They almost beat Alabama in the SEC championship game. I believe last year, I think it was the one that went to overtime. So it's a very, very tough game. So I think they can threaten Alabama. I think that's a team that could beat Alabama. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be Georgia or Alabama is going to be in the championship, if you ask me. But I think Alabama's overall better.
I also think Alabama's a little bit better.
Their quarterback Tua, he's a really good guy. There's going to be a fight mainly for who's going to win the Heisman. And the main 2 they're talking about is Tua, and then the quarterback for the number 1 overall team, Clemson, Trevor Lawrence. Now, Trevor Lawrence is projected to be the number 1 pick, whatever draft he ends up actually in the NFL. I think that guy is actually going to be a star. He is such a great player.
I honestly hate right now that we're dealing with the contract issues with Dak. Because I would love to have that guy.
Well, I don't. In regards to the Cowboys, I don't think you would get Trevor Lawrence. Just you got to be like last place in the league.
I say that all the time because
No, I get you.
I mean, we had Romo, and then we moved to Dak. So pretty much every draft that's had a good quarterback, I've been like, I'd love to have that guy. Yeah, I said the same thing with Andrew Luck.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who would get him. I don't know. Maybe the Cardinals will draft a third quarterback in a row.
I hope not.
But no, it's probably not going to happen.
Probably won't be the Browns.
No, probably not the Browns. I'm trying to think of who it's going to be. Oh, it might be the Bills. It honestly might be the Bills. But anyway, Trevor Lawrence, solid quarterback. I think he will lead Clemson into the playoffs and farther. I think they might win the championship here. In fact, speaking of top 4 teams, who do you? If you had to pick your top 4 teams who are going to be in the college football playoff, who do you
Top 2.
You think the top 2 will make it? Okay, so who's your other 2 teams you think make it? Because I think. Go ahead. So definitely put Clemson and Alabama in there.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say Georgia, but I don't want to say the Sooners, actually.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's going to be that. I think it'll be Clemson, Alabama. I think Ohio State. And I'm going to put in Georgia. I think it'll be.
You know, Ohio State will be that.
I think Ohio State will.
LSU can do it.
LSU could, but I don't think LSU is going to do it. I don't think it's going to be Clemson, Georgia, Alabama, and LSU. That's 3 SEC teams. I don't think that's going to happen. Because, I mean, I think both teams, all right, whoever makes the SEC championship, I think both teams make it in.
Okay,
Right.
yeah, I can see where you're coming from. So, yours makes more sense to me then.
And I think Ohio State will make. Clemson's basically got a free ride, okay? I'm not going to lie. I like NC State. I think we can beat Clemson. They always come so close to beating Clemson, and they can beat Clemson. But it's continuing to win all the other games is their issue. And I think Clemson's going to make the championship regardless.
No matter what.
And
I think that, honestly, they'll probably win it.
I do too. I think they're going to win it. That's my prediction to win is Clemson. I don't want Clemson. I don't like Clemson.
Me neither.
As an NC State fan, it's kind of there's a right.
I've just never really been.
Used to be the Textile Bowl is what it was called. NC State and Clemson will play.
I've just never been really fond of the school in general. It's great academic.
Oh yeah, academic as well. I mean, they've got great sports programs as well.
You can't deny it.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, they won like what 2-3 championships in the past few years. But yeah, I think Clemson will win it all. It's just personally.
That's just like saying the Patriots will probably win the Super Bowl.
I mean,
it's just likely.
I would say that this is more unlikely than the Patriots.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, with college, you don't have all pro athletes, and so they definitely have a huge advantage. But that's just the closest comparison I can.
Oh yeah, no, I got you. It's like, you know that Clemson's gonna be like, I would be willing to bet money Clemson's gonna be in there.
At the end of the day, if you want to win that championship, you're probably gonna be playing Clemson.
Yeah, if you're betting money. Yeah, if you're betting money, bet on Clemson to make champion. Excuse me, sorry, championship. And I mean, you can probably bet on them to win it now. I just can't wait to see how it goes between, because I would like to see Tua versus Trevor Lawrence. I think that would be a great matchup.
I would also like to see an underdog come to it.
I would too. I want NC State to do it, but I don't think they will. Michigan might. Notre Dame might. Notre Dame, Michigan, Ohio State, and Oklahoma of the top 10 of the ones that are outside of those that I've talked about. Those are the ones I feel like that have that chance to make that push for the college football playoff, because you just got to finish in the top 4 to get a chance at the national championship. So I really think Alabama and Clemson are definitely going to be there. Now that's where I'm like, okay, depending on if Georgia goes to the national championship, if LSU goes, like whoever faces Alabama in the SEC championship, I think will make it into that. Unless Ohio State or Michigan, somebody else, or Oklahoma, somebody from a different conference steps in and actually does better. and has a better record. Had some great wins on their schedule. Took care of what they needed to take care of. I think then they have a chance to get in there. But I'm about sure Alabama and Clemson. I think that'll be the championship. I think it's going to be another year. You just can't deny how great the coaches are. Nick Saban and God, I can't remember. Let me see. Dorian, is it? No, it's not Dorian. That's NC State. Let me look at this. But yeah, Nick Saban's one of the greatest coaches of all time. He won't leave. He's not going to leave. He's not going to leave Alabama because he's so good.
Well, I mean, does he need to? He probably makes,
he's making tons of money.
Yeah, I was gonna say he probably makes so much money there,
and they don't have to pick college athletes. So.
Alabama's about like Kentucky when it comes to basketball.
Like not good. What do you mean?
Kentucky is in basketball all the time.
University of Kentucky's good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's the closest thing I can compare it to because they're all the time.
I would say Duke.
I would.
You wouldn't say
But
Duke?
I'm a Tar Heels fan. So.
Well, Duke is always relevant in basketball. Coach Krzyzewski, man, you can't say he's bad.
Oh, as a coach, he's probably the greatest college basketball coach.
That's what I'm saying. Nick Saban.
I was talking about the schools.
I'm saying the same there. Well, Duke's always there. I'm telling you, man. Duke's. It's a little bit different, but yeah, I get what you're saying there. But yeah,
we can compare. We can compare titles.
We can compare. Yeah. Yeah.
North Carolina is the greatest state for college basketball.
Period. Yeah. If college basketball, yeah, NBA, but yeah, college because you've got Duke, Carolina. I would even if you throw in NC State. And
they've had
Forest.
some good seasons.
Well, yeah, NC State's won 2 championships, 83 and 74. Carolina's won a bunch. Duke's won a bunch. I don't think Wake Forest has, but
Carolina's won the most in the state. I think. I'm pretty almost positive they have more than Duke.
Let's see.
I went to the museum on campus that they have.
When was that?
It's been a few years, but not that long ago.
Championships. Uh,
44.
no, they've won 13. This is basketball. Wait. Okay, 6 basketball. They won 6 in the basketball. That's 44 national championships all around.
Yeah.
They've won 6.
Duke may have more.
Okay, so they've won 5. Duke's won 5, and then yeah. Okay, but
That's probably because of Michael Jordan.
there's one. I don't know if he won a national championship.
You think? I don't know, honestly. My big time with Carolina, why I became a fan was the 3. You know what I mean? Tyler Hansborough and everybody, I believe that was a great time to be a Carolina fan. But we've really gotten off topic here, so
in regards to football though, I think Clemson's going to win it all. I think that my team, NC State, I think they'll appear in the top 25 at some point. I think Appalachian State will too, actually. But
if they do, that's who I'm pulling for. I just want you to know right now, that's what's happening.
I think they'll appear in the top 25. They did last year, but it's just they don't. They were actually picked. I saw this thing. They ranked by state. They picked the best football team in every state, and they picked Appalachian State for North Carolina.
Good.
That's crazy. I think NC State's better, but
we'll see what happens. Eventually, you're going to have to choose between the two.
I mean, I'm NC State all the way. If NC State and App played, I'd pull for NC State, regardless of my shorts. But I didn't realize that. Yeah, I am white App State. But I would pull for NC State over App State. But I do like App. They don't play very often because of the conference. But
all right, guys. Well, we got off topic, but glad you stuck around and listened to us this long.
Yeah.
We're gonna go though. So, like always, if you like the video, drop a like. If you want to continue the conversation, leave us a comment down below. Let us know what you think about college football, where you think it's going to go, or really anything else. We love to have an open conversation there. Make sure you subscribe to the channel to get more videos. We do strive to do at least one video a day.
Yes.
And hit that notification bell so that you know as soon as videos drop and you can be notified.
Yep. We'll see you guys.